Rover this past week, able to watch that. And we're going to Kansas this weekend. So things are starting to shape up in some certain ways for the NASCAR Cup Series. My name is Dan. This is my son, Nick. I'm at home. He's away at school. This is how we enjoy the NASCAR Cup Series together. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm great. I actually really enjoyed the Dover race. I had high hopes for it, and in my eyes, it delivered. We got Truex breaking his winless streak, which was great. We had guys like Chastain riding up front. Our picks fared very well. I think overall it was a very enjoyable race.
As far as our picks go, this might be the best that we've done. You know, some weeks on our episode, we don't even mention last week's picks because they were just bad.
Mm.
But this week, Nick, you picked Blaney to win. He finished third. I picked Elliott to win. He finished 11th, and that's actually the worst finish of our picks. For
Mm.
our consensus top three guy, we said Christopher Bell, and he was sixth. And Nick comes through. His sleeper pick, Martin Truex Jr., wins the race. My sleeper pick, Christopher Buescher, was ninth. So good week for the picks. See
Yeah,
if we can
good
keep that
turnout.
up.
Yeah, and I said last week I was going to come with all these facts about Truex could fare well these next couple weeks. He went ahead and just won. No worries. He'll
That's
still be
right.
great the next couple weeks, but he got the win out of the way. He sealed his playoff spot, and good for him.
Yeah, so does that mean that Truex has a chance to win another one already?
I think so. The next three, he's been a solid driver, so I see it happening again. He could be up there for the win. He's got his mojo back. He knows he can win. It would not be surprising to see Truex up there.
What do you think about the latest episode of It Was Ross Chastain's Fault?
Yeah, that one was kind of Ross Chastain's fault, which he did own up to it. I think it was stage one. It was kind of a thing like, why are you making these crazy moves like 80 laps into the race? And him knocking Poole just sent him on a collision course straight to just destroy Larson. Ended Larson's race. He was down 30 something laps the rest of the time. Chastain owned up to it, but again, I get he's a good racer. He's trying to race hard. He might not have needed to race hard at that very moment.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It's just what happened.
And poor Larson has just had some terrible luck lately. But I suppose we can't shed too many tears for Larson. He's won twice. He's going to be contending for more wins. So, okay, glad you're okay, Larson.
Mhm. Stinks for him. Glad you're okay, but I was secretly a little happy. Like, oh, Larson's out of the picture. That's one Hendrick down. Get some fresh blood out here.
Yeah, none of the Hendrick guys were really that great. I think Josh Berry ended up being the best one. Or Byron, let's see.
Byron did end up fourth.
Yeah. Okay,
Josh Berry
Byron was
was
okay.
solid. Berry was solid the whole race. Elliott, he was never great. He was consistent. That's what got him the 11th. And Larson, nothing he could do. I thought he was done for the day when he went to the garage. I was surprised that he was able to come back out and compete. It didn't really help him with any sort of standings because not many other people wrecked or spun out. But
Mhm.
he at least he got to finish the race.
Now, speaking of Josh Berry, have you heard the rumors about Josh Berry?
What are the rumors?
So the rumor is that he is going to be driving the number 4 car that Kevin Harvick is leaving next year. So it would be Stuart Haas. Nothing is confirmed, but there's a few things that kind of add up. Clint Boyer, who was a former Stuart Haas guy, he mentioned just on the broadcast, nothing specific, but he said, I think this guy is going to be driving every Sunday next year. We also had a report, I think it was Adam Stern, who said that he believed Barry was going to be signing a contract soon, didn't say with whom.
That's interesting, though. And I think Barry would be a great guy to pick up for your team. He's getting really good experience driving in cars like Elliott and Bowman's. And he's been getting better and better. He's got his top 10 finish this week. We'll see
Mm-hmm.
what he brings in the next couple of weeks. But I think that's a solid choice to pick up to replace Harvick.
We're going to Kansas this weekend. This will be, we've been at California. I don't know that I'd really call that an intermediate track. We have been at Las Vegas earlier this season. So this will kind of be the second in the very similar group of 1.5 mile tracks this year. There's a few things we could say about Kansas Speedway, but one of them, to your delight, Nick, will be that Hendrick Motorsports is going to be powerful there.
Yeah, that's basically a given. There's not many tracks that you can really say, oh, I don't think Hendrick's going to perform very well on this course. Hendrick definitely a present. When I think of Kansas, there's two names that come to mind, and they're both Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, guys that I picture being up front at Kansas. Last year, Kurt Busch won the race, but he beat out Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson for that win. So those are two other guys that I see being great.
As you said, Kurt Busch won at Kansas in the spring of last year. Bubba Wallace was the winner in the fall race.
It's a good track for Bubba. A good track for a couple of other guys like Stenhouse. He got a top 10 last year. I think if Kyle Busch is going to be riding up there, he can bring Austin Dillon along with him. Austin Dillon has had a couple rough races recently.
Yeah, he's been pretty bad recently.
Sure. A team that's been surprising for me has been RFK. Both of them got top 10 again last week. They've just been really solid, and I think they've just got good chemistry that you see Keselowski up there. Buescher is not far behind, or he's just right on his tail helping each other out. So they're two other names that I think could perform well here.
Yes, Truex broke his winless streak. I guess it could be possible that we get a Brad Keselowski win this coming weekend.
I wonder how long that streak is. I know Truex, it was like 55 races or something. Keselowski can't be far away from that.
A few other drivers that we haven't mentioned yet. Christopher Bell, very strong at this track. I'd expect him to be running up front. Martin Truex Jr. Last year at Kansas, he was 6th or better both races. One other guy we should mention is Ross Chastain. Once again, he was 7th both times in Kansas last year.
And he almost pulled it off last week.
Yes.
Still, I know he wants that win bad, and he's going to race hard for it, and he's probably going to cause more trouble, but it's coming. It really is coming for him.
Yes. So out of Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Martin Truex, who do you like to finish the best at Kansas?
Bell, Chastain, Truex, those are all solid guys. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'll probably give it to Bell out of all of those guys, just because I think he'll be the safest driver, but he'll also have the speed for it. But realistically, I could see all three of them ending in the top 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so out of the Hendrick guys, we got Elliott, Larson, William Byron, and Josh Berry still filling in for Alex Bowman. Which of those guys do you think will finish the best?
I feel like Elliott's still kind of warming up because last week he was good but not great.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a toss up between Larson and Byron, but I think Larson, with just his history on this track, I don't think we've really talked about him that much the last couple of weeks. The champion Joey Logano, these tracks haven't really been stuff that we've kind of favored him on.
Yeah, that's true, and he's had some poor results, at least the last couple of races. He was kind of hot earlier. Now he's been a little bit cold. I don't know if Logano can turn that around this week or not.
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, I'm not going to call that strategy, but that just might be how it is with him in this season. He'll start out hot. He's already secured his playoff spot and he's got a lot of points. He might be cooling off in the middle, but I'm sure he's going to want to try and win it again.
Yeah. So out of Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric has been pretty good at Kansas. Which of those three do you think will finish the best?
I don't know. Blaney, I really try and hope, and he got the top 3, but I just don't know. I'd pick Cindric. He's been good at Kansas. I know he's better than his results have been, so I'm going to go with Cindric for that.
Okay. Well, then, and let me just throw a couple more Toyotas at you. Tyler Reddick, he got in trouble both races at Kansas last year, but Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin. Of those three, who do you think will finish the best?
That's tough because with Bubba, there's something about this track for him that works. But Hamlin also, I think I'd give the edge to Hamlin over Bubba, just slightly though.
Talking about Toyotas, you may have heard the news that Jimmy Johnson and Legacy Motorsports will be switching from Chevy to Toyota next season.
I think that's a smart move, and I think I was talking to you the other day that when's Jimmy Johnson coming back? Because I kind of want to see more of him. I think the last
Mhm.
race he did, he had an unlucky he crashed or something in the very beginning.
Yeah, that was
Toyotas have
the
been
road
really good.
course.
Toyota's been really good, and they've been guys that like, oh wow, this guy's been up front. Let me cheer for this guy because like Christopher Bell, he's got a fast car and he's been solid. So I think that's a smart idea trying out Toyota.
Well, as far as Jimmy Johnson, I think he's going to show up for the Chicago street race in early July. Not sure if we're going to see him before then or not.
This race, I think there's more options that I've had than many other races this season of guys like I could name off a ton of guys that I think could
Hmm.
win and guys that I would like to win. I'm gonna go. I could play it really safe and go with Larson, but I'm not. I'm gonna go Hamlin. Hamlin wins at Kansas.
Yeah, Hamlin is definitely a solid pick. He had finishes of fourth place and second place at Kansas last season. At Las Vegas, very similar track earlier this season, Denny Hamlin was 11th. So I think that's a strong pick. And like you said, there's a lot of guys that you can consider for winning now, it seems, which means that it's going to be difficult to predict.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll do as well. I'm feeling a little risky because I guess I got confidence from last week, but who do you think's gonna win?
So this will be the 12th points race of the season, which will actually represent, once we finish at Kansas, we'll be in the halfway mark of the regular season. So 12 races, well, actually, in 11 races so far, we have seen three two-time winners. Kyle Busch has won twice. William Byron has won twice. Kyle Larson has won twice. For my pick, I'm going to say we're going to get another two-time winner on the season. I believe it's going to be Christopher Bell.
That's a fair pick. And when you said another two-time winner, there's only so many options. I figured Bell would be the one that comes out on top of that. I like Bell. I like Toyota. It's very possible.
Yes, so we've got two Toyotas for our win picks. Now, for our consensus top three, should we dare and go with another Toyota, or what do you think, Nick?
I don't know. I feel like we need to have one of the Kyles as a top three.
Yeah, I agree that both of them will probably be up there. So the question is, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, who is going to bounce back? I mean, Larson has had two bad wrecks in the last two races. Kyle Busch has a win and a mediocre finish. I kind of think Larson will be up there. I think Busch will too. I think Larson will have the better finish this week.
I'd go with Larson, but it's so much of a toss up with this race. I feel like it's a safe Larson pick though.
All right, so he's going to be our consensus top three driver. How about your sleeper pick for Kansas?
So we're talking Toyota, and earlier you gave me a group of three guys, and I picked Hamlin. I kind of felt bad leaving Wallace out. I'm gonna put Bubba Wallace as my sleeper pick. Something about Kansas, another Toyota, Bubba Wallace, a good sleeper for Kansas.
I think that's a good pick. He could definitely be up there. You know, it's kind of one of those deals. Bubba's either going to be up there or he's going to be running 21st or something like that. Um, I've been on a little bit of a forward streak with my sleeper picks and had pretty good results last week with Busher. Not going to go Busher again, but I am going to go with Brad Keselowski, his teammate.
That's a good. That's a good. I think they're going to be really solid. They've been solid. I really think that it's possible a win could be coming up for one of them, and I'd be happy for that. I like Keselowski, and Busher's kind of growing on me. I like that dude.
Yeah.
So I think we got a good solid lineup. Hopefully, no one wrecks, and we'll get some good finishes again.
Yeah, I think we're likely to have good weather there this weekend. So, you know, we got through the whole rain deal at Dover. We'll look forward to hopefully a nice weather race at Kansas. Hopefully, we get some good passing, some good competition there.
Yeah, no, I hope so. And out of all the races, this one, I think it's a strong probability that we will have a repeat winner this week. Usually I'm saying, oh, I think it's going to be a new winner. This week with the lineup of guys, Bell, Larson, Bush, we might have a repeat winner. Even Byron could just come out of nowhere and lead. He could lead 200 laps.
And then we are going to be working on our mid-season awards, Nick, that we'll present
Mhm.
in perhaps the next episode, or at least by the All-Star race. We're going to come out with our mid-season awards. Who is performing a lot better than we thought? Who is performing a lot worse than we thought at the beginning of the season? So we'll look forward to that. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.